share the expected results with all our partners. In particular with Giovanni Bello and the Department of Civil Protection, Department of Basilicata region, we realized in particular system alarm in along our coast. You have to think that Calabria is a particular region of beauty. Is my region has a coastal development of 750 kilometers. And for this fact, we have also 116 municipalities that live on in front of the sea. And for this reason, the tsunami risk in general and the erosional risk is very high in my territory. And for this fact, we talk to realize an experimental working system, and this experimental working system will allow multiple results, and this aspect can be, this system can be replicated in the other coastal municipalities, also in Calabria, but also in the other country of the Mediterranean Sea, or using also in the Greek partner for our Greek partner. And then we expected that also to share our experience about the whole region. We realized in Calabria region, particularly platform, that there is a platform TC2, and inside this platform we input the data of every root race association, and this platform is very important because when there is an emergency, we activate every association, and the fee for the risk, the characteristics, the futures, and of every association we know, and for this fact we know what particular association we must activate to solve that particular problem in that situation. We know strictly we know strictly our territory, and we know where is located every association and every future of characteristic of association, and so we rapidly, quickly, we immediately have the possibility to add the population thanks to the association besides our activity of our department. And so this experience we share with, in particular with the Greek regions, and another thing we want to realize and dedicated to civil protection emergency inside text disaster, we can visualize every protection civil plan of every territory or every municipality, and in general of every region. We can see, for example, the situation also of the hydrological and hydraulic risk of every territory, the path of the state for every citizen, and in general we use this hub to share all the information Yes, this platform is very easy to use, and according to me, the platform can help our partner to realize the regulation immediately. Thanks to activation of the Routers Association, and I think that at the end of this project, I think that there will be a new law of how to rotation for Greece, because this experience, I think that could permit to increase to operate in that way to the management of the voluntary also for the regions in general.
Thank you. Mr. Bello.
Grazie per averlo fatto tutti, parlo italiano, perché chiederò alla collega di terminare la traduzione. Intanto è un onore e un piacere far parte di questo raggruppamento della Regione Basilicata, è la prima volta che partecipa ad un Interreg.
It's an honor to be here. The Region of Basilicata is the first time that participates in Interreg.
E questo è un progetto, come abbiamo detto ieri, un progetto molto sfidante. La sfida in cosa consiste? In Italia il sistema di protezione civile è conosciuto da circa il 70-80% della popolazione.
So this project is a project of very challenges. The civil protection in Italy is known by the 80% of the Italian population.
Questa regolarità, questa conoscenza scende moltissimo, al di sotto del 20% se parliamo di operatività della protezione civile nella popolazione, cioè la capacità operativa non è conosciuta dalla popolazione.
This percentage is going down to the 20% about what regard the operative, about what does the civil protection.
E quindi in alcuni rischi, i quali esplicano gli effetti dopo pochissimi anche secondi, stiamo pensando ad un crollo, ma anche ad un tsunami, un incendio, sono quelli più pericolosi, dove la popolazione non è preparata e non conosce quali sono le misure di autoprotezione.
In some kind of crisis or something that is very alarming, like for example, some building down or some other aspect, the population doesn't know how to act.
Ecco perché insieme alla Regione Calabria abbiamo pensato ad un nuovo sistema di allarme immediato alla popolazione, per far conoscere esattamente il rischio e la possibilità di proteggersi immediatamente da quando avviene l'allarme.
For this reason, with the region, we brought to implement a system in order to alert immediately the situation how to act and how to protect itself.
Abbiamo fatto diversi incontri in Regione Basilicata con le prefetture, i prefetti e tutte le forze del governo. In una situazione di allarme come quello dello tsunami, in meno di 2 ore non è possibile organizzare una risposta operativa da parte di tutti tutte le forze dell'ordine.
The region did several meetings with the region and authority, and what the result was in case of tsunami, it was not even 2 hours for organize a safety way for the people.
E noi potremmo non avere 2 ore se avessimo un'onda tsunamigenica, perché un'onda di tsunami può percorrere anche 800 km all'ora.
And unfortunately, because of the tsunami, considering the tsunami wave and also around 800 kilometers per hour, we will not have the 2 hour in order to evacuate the area to prepare the civilization, to allow the civilization.
Ecco l'importanza di avere un sistema di allertamento immediato. È un sistema che avverta oltre che la popolazione anche tutti coloro, compresi i volontari, che devono intervenire in maniera assolutamente immediata.
So the goal to have this kind of system is a goal that to alert the population, also the voluntary in order to protect them.
Questi rischi sono inseriti in ogni pianificazione, in ogni piano, anche i piani comunali, ma i piani comunali e i piani di emergenza non sono ancora conosciuti come vorremmo dalla popolazione.
This kind of risk and this kind of challenges were known to all the level, but unfortunately this kind of plan doesn't have yet the knowledge to all us to act in a proper way.
Ed ecco che con questi nuovi sistemi che metteremo in atto non dobbiamo allarmare, allentare soltanto la popolazione magari con dei sistemi di allertamento sonoro, ma dobbiamo dire alla popolazione cosa deve fare subito dopo questo tipo di pericolo, cioè esattamente la popolazione dove si deve raccogliere, quali sono le misure di autoprotezione che deve avere, che deve mettere in atto.
So basically the aim of this kind of system is not only to learn the ability, also what they should do later, or better where to go, what to do, and what is the safe place.
E questo è un cambio di paradigma straordinario che ci pensiamo, perché la popolazione non deve sapere tanto ovviamente come deve intervenire in situazioni di emergenza, ma per mettersi in salvo in situazioni di emergenza lo deve conoscere, come diciamo noi, in tempo di pace.
This one is one change, the sense that the population not only have to know what to do in case of emergency, but also what they have to do in order after the crisis to protect themselves.
Ecco perché noi abbiamo messo in campo un programma molto fitto di formazione, di esercitazione, di conoscenza, come si diceva, attraverso i social e tutti i canali interattivi per far conoscere al maggior numero di persone ciò che può avvenire, quali sono le misure di autoprotezione che deve adottare.
For this reason, the program in training and also not only a training, but also an education training in order for the people to know exactly what to do. And for this is also very important information.
Ecco perché la parola d'ordine nostra e quella che dice il nostro ministro italiano è prevenzione. Ed è questo il beneficio che noi vorremmo ottenere da questo progetto, il beneficio che vorremmo trasferire come buona pratica anche a tutti coloro che partecipano a questo progetto, nella speranza che anche noi riusciamo a recepire quelle che sono le buone pratiche che verranno messe in atto dalle altre progettualità.
Basically, the goal is to prevent all these events. Basically, not so much the event, but the risk that these events can bring to the civilization. And so the goal, the good of also this kind of practice level the comprehension is for sure to have a life-changing of you and of practice.
Termino ringraziando tutti a nome mio e del Presidente della Regione Basilicata per la possibilità che ci avete dato di partecipare a questo progetto. Grazie a tutti.
Thank you very much for letting us.
It's a very interesting question. The biggest challenge about this program is projects. Is the coordination of the multiple partners that are involved in this across the borders. There is another value, very added value in this aspect. And of course, this is not the challenge. The challenge is that we have to do this under strict EU requirements, very strict EU requirements, and you have to produce in a timely fashion results that are tangible and measurable. This is a great challenge. As a matter of fact, the implement the legal project is not an easy task, it's a very difficult task. Because they are not natural projects. They are disguised projects as projects. They have to be with multiple governance systems such and do so like a project. It's a very difficult task to solve. We have to think not only with EU requirements, we have to think with multiple national legislations, we have to think with institutions that have not the same culture, different speed. We have to deal with priorities, political priorities that are different. It's a very, very difficult task to solve. And this is the difficulty. This puts a great pressure in order to do so, because it is a very high burden to manage the administrative and the financial management of this project. Because the institutions, the organizations, are not ready, are not focused on this. You understand? You don't have limited staff for doing the projects. We have, let's say, different political, we don't exactly align with this in this project. And organizations have very different speed in administrative speed, different culture. How do you align with this in a project that has to be delivered in a very timely manner? It's really a very difficult task. And also, you take all the responsibility of this project without controlling all the aspects of the project. You don't control, you take all the responsibility, but you don't control all the actors of the project. It's a paradox. It's not like the project should be. You also have all the risk. Risk is not acceptable. You have to do what you have to do in a very difficult situation, and you take all the risk without control. It's not really easy. So the real question is not this. Is how you do this. How do you? In my experience, there are two things. You create human networks. This is the critical aspect. And it is aligned with the mandate. We have to coordinate, we have to cooperate, we have to build human networks. And this is something that strengthens you. all these programs we implemented before capitalize on this. Most of us are not know each other today. We have relations security. And this helps us with this community. And also, I think this is should be proven that in the following years, we should have removed valuable to do the bureaucracy. Also, they have a lot of things to be automated, and this will, I think, will help us. Thank you.
the Indeed, for example, in the first call for common projects, we foresee that in order to improve, and the idea was in order to have some organizations located outside of the regional area, which could provide some expertise, skill, knowledge. If there is not presence, there is not a presence in our areas in order to bring to us something about that. We realized this during the first call. We are checking what will happen. And we, for example, for the running code that we published a few days ago and now still working, we don't foresee there's a possibility in this case also for the argument that we put inside the code. But of course, this is under checking from us as the legislators, from the national authority, from the European Commission, for what will happen with the first call with this organization coming from the outside of the eligible area, in order to understand if they will bring for data apart excluding the declaration inside of the application form, what way they will bring exactly in our territories and how their expertise and their skills would improve our economic development, the quality of our life, and also the skills inside of the organization which are present in the area. Because this is also most important. We have also to ask the territorial cooperation to realize some projects of the territorial cooperation is a big opportunity, in my opinion, for our organization. Why? Because with the territorial cooperation, with the complexity of the territorial cooperation, in order to manage the project of the territorial cooperation, they could improve also their skill, their knowledge in order to manage also the European funds. And this is we have to keep in mind, because the complexity that you can find inside of the territorial cooperation, you will not find in the other regional programs, for example, because you have both in regional programs. In the most part of the cases, you as organization, you are alone. You are running the project alone, send the application alone, implement alone. You have just only a dialogue with the managing authority of the regional programs. In the regional cooperation, it's more, there is a very high complexity because you have to realize you have to develop, first of all, an idea with the other partners, with at least another country, maybe more than one. And you should speak with them in order to develop this idea, and you should also overcome the differences coming from the legal framework, for example, differences coming from the approach, differences coming from the cultural idea for some issues that you can have as common challenge that you have in your territories. After that, if you are lucky that you will finance your project, after that you have to implement in cooperation with the others. You cannot run alone. You cannot walk alone. You should implement together in cooperation. You should also organize the activities of the partnership, not of the single beneficiary, of the partners, altogether. Altogether, you should also give some results and impact. And the big challenge, is in order to give results and impact that should be one valid for all the eligibility. This is the meaning, this is why friendly, all the people that is working in the territorial cooperation, all the territorial cooperation is like the harvest, the K2 in order to realize the project, because it is more the complexity is very high. But the projects financed by the territorial cooperation, most part of the cases are permanent.
because they overcatch the skyline, they just start to realize some actions, and they are working in some dynamics where it will be clear for all our institutions exactly the next program. The next program, we can check something that we finance in the regional cooperation, and we find also in the next program period, we will find in the regional program. So the regional cooperation is our, the regional cooperation is a challenge, but the regional cooperation is a great opportunity for our territories in order to develop well, and like Mrs. Xiao told before, strong. Thank you. Also thank you, because also this is another classic question that coming from WASP. As rules and legal point of view, of course, except in the case that there is some application from the rules that were programmed and put. As a legal point of view, there are of course, we should make also in this case logical. According to what the scenario that I described before about in order to implement the project, the integration projects, of course, the interface first of all should have some experience and skills in order to coordinate the activities, and should have experience and skills. It's not necessary to have experience and skills specifically in that area, but should have skills and experience in business, first of all, that should operate with that project. This is first of all for sure. Of course, it's not a reason without experience in the regional operation, it's not a reason in order to declare not admissibility. There is not the admissibility for the project, of course. But could have also the experience in the cooperation, but first of all, for sure, it's relevant to have skills and experience in the issues that we have to work, and the experience also, and to be ready to have a dialogue in order to cooperate and to cooperate well. First of all, should be, we have to keep in mind the dialogue is the basis for the cooperation, and also the basis of the cooperation is also trust challenge. This is what we have to keep in mind, and this is very important. Thank you.
Thank you. So communication is more important than experience.
Communication and experience, both together. Of course, communication activities. This is another also gives me the opportunity in order to tell something about the communication activities. Because communication activities is not only related for what we think with the traditional approach. Okay, we realize some pleasant view, we realize some leaflet, we open, now it's forbidden, but we open the web page of the project, so we did those. Communication activities should have an impact from our activities of the project. We should, as people here, communicate something to our citizens, to the territories, to have an impact. And I have to add, we have to start with the approach in order not only to communicate, but we have to start with the approach in order to communicate and involve the territories and the citizens. This is what our should be our role. Why I'm telling that? Most part of us, we know very well that the internal cooperation exists in the European Commission for more than 30 years. For more than 30 years, operate the internal cooperation. But if we are speaking with some system, and we are speaking about social funds, Yeah, they have ideas. Social funds, they have thinking around training, around market, and so on. We are speaking about ETF. They started thinking about the bridge, highways, and so on. Sometimes when we are speaking about the regional cooperation or Interreg, their face start to be like question mark. What is it? They didn't know what to say. We have to be honest. Sometimes it's also our responsibility because we didn't involve well the territories, the citizens. We have to improve our actions in the communication, but not only to communicate because it's mandatory coming from the European Commission, because the European Commission told us you should communicate, you should quote the law, and so on. It's not it's not like a mechanism, not mandatory mechanism. No, I put the law, I take my order. We should strongly believe in order to involve our territories. The territories should know because the regional cooperation is very relevant and important for all our life. Your project is a classic example how the impact that will have the regional cooperation in the normal life of our citizens, and they have to know because it's a thing that avoid to communicate well. The communication is not only, as I told before, a word that I have to do because it's mandatory, we put the logo, I will do my reference, I pray, do it. No, communication is a day-by-day work. Involve citizens, speak with the citizens, involve the territories in order to explain them, and in order to have also some interactions with them. Maybe we can have an idea that we think, we thought could be useful for our territories, and after a dialogue with our territories, our citizens, maybe we can check there is something that we have to modify it. Why not? And would be more useful in order to have more impact with the project. No? Just that. Thank you.
Now, from the relationship question please and up here, this is regarding Mrs. Pisantino. I will ask you the same question. About the responsibility for operation and maintenance of the project, how will you ensure them and what are the criteria that you must respect?
These are our strategies, and we believe that through this project, we can assure a better response in floods and tsunamis, like this that we faced these last 2 weeks in the region.
Good morning to everybody. The project of the region is sustainable by design for 4 reasons. First of all, the multifunctional hub is a strategic facility for civil protection. It will have a double function, a logistic base and a training sector. This structure must be ready for emergency responses, and it will be used for national and international emergencies. It will be located near the airport, the Foggia Airport, a strategic position because materials, equipment can be really and moved during emergencies. The structure will be located inside the logistic pole that the civil protection of the region will realize in next time. It will be a logistic pole funded by cohesion funds. The budget is 37 million euro. It will have training, open training areas, a sector with classrooms and conference room, logistic base, and the multifunctional hub will be inside this area. We involved universities, Polytechnic University of Bari, to help us in produce the output of the project. For 3 reasons. The first, the university has a high level of research in the theme of the project in our territory. The second reason is that we want to connect much more the university with the needs of the local communities, and not only in the research. The first reason is that we want to obtain at the end of the project a program for the School of the Civil Protection that we will have in the logistic pole. A scheduled program for training, for volunteers, for students, and for local authorities. Then I have the pleasure to introduce you my colleague Antonio Lanza, that I'm living and working in Brussels since 2025. Some few words about his cross-border experiences.
Thank you very much, Tiziana, and we would like also to inform you that Regione Puglia is very interested in these cooperation cross-border activities because we believe that our experience can be the best as possible for our citizens, for our students, for our volunteer, firefighter, and all the stakeholders in the field of civil protection activities. Also because during our story in cross-border cooperation and the previous project, give us the possibility to develop a lot of new strategies for oil spill, for example, or wildfire management and other risks that we have. Also deployed in Albania, helping the population to manage the earthquake that they had in 2019. And our experience in this kind of project were very, very useful, was very useful because we had the possibility to work in a very smoothly way, because we believe our procedure, we believe we understood before during the exercise, during the cross-border activities in the previous project for developing the standard operating procedure, and it can be for us one of the best opportunity to capitalize this kind of experience. And this is the reason because the Regione Puglia is very in this kind of project directly work for having the possibility to extend our experience also on the field with the citizens, students, volunteer, and it can be useful not only with our technician, civil protection workers, but it can be useful for the citizens because climate change, because the new geopolitical instability, and the European Union last year published the Preparedness and Union strategy that gives us another overview of our typical activities. So this is the reason because we would like to work together with you and to share our expertise and to grow up for not only for us, but only for the citizens, students, volunteers, and all the stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One last question to Mrs. Moscow. She's introduced her to the role because she's regional governor of region of Northern Ireland. So, Mrs. Moscow, you are supposed to implement a difficult project, a flood prevention project. What measures are taken to ensure its smooth financing and proper operation?
Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I would like to thank the legal partner who is hosting us these days here for the project. And it's a great pleasure for us, and we'll be waiting for this meeting for a long time as the guideline for the whole of Ireland who suffer from severe weather conditions. We have strong winds, severe floods, and this causes many problems, road access, coastal infrastructure, and in some cases, these conditions can threaten even people's lives. And this project comes to us at a very, very hard time for us, and this is very crucial and vital. That's why it's crucial and vital. So, additionally, that is a challenge for us to implement challenge for other partners. Other partners will agree on that. Long-term sustainability of flood protection infrastructure. And finally, our full compliance with Interreg regulations and EU standards. So, in conclusion, I would say that for the region of Ireland and Islands, REF strategic projects have crucial and very vital meaning for our area. Thank you very much.
We'd like to share with you some the conclusions of this meeting. Thank you all for this work. And we suggest that our next face-to-face meeting, and just a suggestion, we will talk about it, will be in Bali on September. So think about it, all the partners, for our next face-to-face meeting.
Thank you very much. Dear partners, I would like to share with you some conclusions and thoughts of the meeting. During the first day of the technical meeting, some issues and problems have been highlighted, with the most important being the delays in the implementation stage of the project. Taking that very seriously into account, we will introduce next week a program with regular and scheduled one-on-one meetings and meetings with the joint secretary and management authority. This will help us to be on the same page and increase involvement and commitment of all stakeholders. Also, we will introduce project management tools in order to monitor the development more closely and involve the management authority and joint secretariat more efficiently. Furthermore, we will proceed fast on the external expertise procurement that professional assistance will help speed up the recovery of lost ground. Having said all that, I would like to focus on the benefits derived from this kickoff meeting. First of all, we made REF widely known. We strengthened our shared understanding of the work ahead. We elaborated on the 5 work packages in a technical level. We confirmed obligations on funding, reporting, monitoring, and communication. And we also built rapport and trust. I personally had the chance to meet and interact with fellow Italian partners and representatives, and I'm sure that in the near future we will strengthen these bonds even more towards our common goals. I would like to thank every partner here for your commitment and participation, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. We will now have a